Hi everyone, so today we're taking a look at Game of Thrones, the episodic game. Released just the other day on Android, this provides Telltale's full experience of the Game of Thrones series, but told from a different point of view, that of the Foresters. You'll meet all of the characters you've come to know from the series, but spun through a new story, taking from the books but not shown within the TV series. The Foresters, a noble family from the north of Westeros and loyal to the Starks of Winterfell, get caught up in the events involving the War of the Five Kings. They're thrown into the bloody warfare, revenge and intrigue from the TV series, but it allows you to pick the outcomes, to choose the dialogue that your character you're controlling at that time is going to respond with, and thus creating the strands that will run throughout your playthrough. The game is delivered in Telltale's classic style, which means this is a point-and-click adventure game, which is told in episodic content. The first episode is $3.99, and you can then purchase the additional episodes as you complete them, or buy them all in a bundle and save a few quid. Now it should be noted that Game of Thrones the game is very much a high-end title. Whilst they have reduced the graphic fidelity from the PC and Mac release, this is still a title that won't work particularly well on older devices. It does need a 1.2 GHz CPU and above, and there are a few devices there that it's not really compatible with. Now, as I say, they have downgraded the graphics somewhat from the full release, but that doesn't change the actual core gameplay that's here, purely the graphical styling. Essentially, the textures are a little bit lower resolution and the lighting model is not as complex, but all of the point-and-click interactivity and the story is all there complete. Even with the lower resolution textures, Game of Thrones does look fantastic on Android. Playing this on the Nvidia Shield, we found no frame rate hitches or problems whatsoever. The game runs beautifully smoothly at 60 frames a second. The point and click aspect of this game works very well, and it makes for a game that is very much story driven. This is not a high action title by any stretch of the imagination, more a kick back, relax and play through this wonderful story they've crafted for us. I won't spoil the plot too much, but to really set the scene, things pick up just after the death of Ned Stark, when everything in the north is going to hell. Your family gets caught in the middle of the unfolding events, and through the decisions you take, are put on a collision course with some of the other houses within the Game of Thrones world. It all hangs together very well, and it feels like Game of Thrones, right down to the swearing and the violence that is most definitely here in spades. The game is riffing heavily off the TV series, but never shies away from what makes the TV series so popular, that brutality and rawness of the world and the events that take place. Nothing is sugar-coated here. It really is a playable version of Game of Thrones with a new story for us to get our teeth into. All in all, whilst Game of Thrones is one of the more expensive games you can pick up on the mobile platforms, it is by far one of the most engaging. If you're a fan of Game of Thrones, you need to play this game just to get a fix of a new bit of story while we're waiting for the new series to start. If you're a fan of point-and-click adventure games, then again, there's a lot here to really enjoy. The gameplay, the graphics, it all works beautifully well, weaved together into a story that really is compelling. Well worth picking up for your Android device this Christmas. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, you can pledge $1 a month on Patreon to help support the Androidizen, keeping us 100% independent. An honest opinion direct from the UK. If you pledge $1 a month, you'll be entered into our prize pool to win cool items from our review bag. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe and comment. We love to chat.